What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management, back here to bring you guys another video. Hopefully you still remember me. I know it's been a while. I haven't made a video since last month, but I am well. Thank you for asking. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a little brief recap of this past week, but more importantly, it is earnings season, well and full in effect. So I'm going to be looking at some stocks that I'm watching for this week, what I expect, how a few stocks played out last week, and how I expect them to bounce back or continue running going forward. And I'll give you some tips for what I'm looking at for the long-term future as well. So before we do that, do me a favor as always, drop that thumbs up, show some love and support. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So I think today we'll just start off with, as I said, earnings season. Let's start off with what stocks are reporting earnings this season. So to begin with, this week, sorry, that's what I meant. So first and foremost, let me show you guys. Here we go. So Monday before open, we've got SoFi. That's going to be on watch. Tuesday after market, we've got Microsoft, AMD, Google, and Starbucks. All four of those are going to be on watch. Then before market opens Wednesday, we have Boeing. So with Boeing, I'm going to be looking at BA, of course, but also DAL, American Airlines, a couple others as well. And then after hours, we've got QCOM. Then moving on to Thursday. Thursday is another huge day, just like Tuesday. We've got Amazon, Apple, Meta as well after hours. And then Friday, we've got Exxon and Chevron as well. So it's going to be an interesting week for earnings. It's going to be a big week for earnings, just like last week was. Now, speaking of last week, let's get straight into it. I mean,
this is the Discord, but let's go check out TradingView.
Because we traded Monday AMD calls, then Netflix puts when they reported earnings. Sorry, Netflix calls when they reported earnings, and then Tesla puts when they reported earnings. We also traded Exxon, but let me just show you Netflix, because Netflix had a $550 call. Look how Netflix ran. Look how Netflix just took off. Shout out to Uzo, because Uzo did mention it, that, you know, Netflix is always reporting a crazy earnings up or down, and we should play it. So with the team and I all got calls. As you can see after market, Netflix jumped, rallied about $63 eventually before pulling on back and then continuing higher. Now, the reason I said Netflix first, because I honestly think Netflix will continue going higher. And this is why. Zoom out, check the all-time chart, right? You see, you think it's up high. Then you zoom out further and you see, whoa, Netflix has way more to do. Still got another $120 to run. So we might never get back to that $700 price point. But as I said in the past, I fully expect Netflix to really kick on and keep moving upwards. As I said in the Discord, Netflix to 600 was my target. And that was when we were at 485. Netflix is fully on its way to 600. Then moving on to Tesla. Tesla's an interesting one. I think I could do a whole video about Tesla, honestly, because last year they had a record number of deliveries. This year, it started with a bad earnings and just tanked. But if you look at this past year, they also had almost $100 billion in revenue. And compare that to what, 8-9 years ago when they were hitting 2 billion, 3 billion. So they've really come far. But what I will say is now it's been shorted, right? Now it's dropped and it's tanked, and we made money off the puts. I'm happy because it dropped, I think, $35, almost $40 in a couple of days. That's the daily chart here. It's fallen below this zone. But look, Tesla is nearing its, what I would say is its bottom, so around 165. Will it reach that bottom? I don't know. But long term, this ride up with Tesla is going to be crazy. This ride up with Tesla is going to be legendary. Look, I'll tell you what, if we can just get back up to the 260 mark from 3-4 weeks ago, that's already a huge gain. If we can push on back to the all-time highs and get close to 300, then we're really feasting. But like I said, this zone here, we've fallen just below this zone, and I think we're near Tesla's bottom. So keep an eye out for that. Like I said, it's sitting at 183 right now. My real bottom for Tesla would be 165. We've shorted it so far, and it's being shorted by the market, but I think it's only a matter of time before this gets bought up again. So I'm not looking for this to continue to downside that much longer. Another stock I wanted to put on the radar, because their earnings this week, Meta. Meta's going to 400. That's plain and simple. I'm looking at Meta calls, Meta to 400. Once Meta had a poor earnings, November 2022, and it tanked all the way to $88. Wow. Look at the recovery since then. Meta is too strong. Meta is not going to be defeated. Meta is going to continue rising. before earnings, I expected to hit 400. So I'm looking at Meta cores this year. It's plain and simple. I do want to point out that none of this is financial advice as well. So just make sure you note that. Going on to AMD. AMD has another delightful one. Since its earnings, when it hit around $95 in October, last 3 months have been nothing short of amazing, nothing short of special. We hit 184 this week, all-time highs of AMD. This is a stock which was sitting at $60 just over a year ago. $60 in October 2022. So a year and 3 months ago, AMD was sitting at $60. It has tripled since then. It is on a rampage. So I'm looking for AMD to pull back towards the moving average around 170 and then continue pushing higher. AMD, knowing itself, can drop to 174 and push higher as well. So all I'm saying is I'm looking for the pullback. You look at the daily chart, very clearly bullish. 4-hour chart, very clearly bullish. So many time frames where it's just riding the moving averages and keeps on pushing higher. So AMD is another one in the tech sector, just like NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA, just rampant. NVIDIA to be at 610 is just, it's incredible. When I look at last year, I believe it was around 200 something. Yeah, 298. But what period? Yeah, May. In May, it was $298. It's more than doubled since then. And it's continuing to push higher. So NVIDIA is one of those that for long term, I look at it as a safe bet. I look at it as a stock that I would love to buy for long-term shares. And that brings me on to another one that I'd love to buy for long-term shares. Eli Lilly. So this is a company in the health sector. So healthcare. Ever since their earnings in August, when they jumped up about $40, $50, they've just steadily been trending upwards. Now with this one, I'm not saying you should go out and buy shares for $639. What I am saying is probably look at taking some call options here and there. Obviously with the group, it's one I always mention in the Discord. So, you guys know I'm a big fan of it when it comes to trading this to the upside. But I did want to put that on your radar for those people who are not in the group. Now, just kind of to touch on more of the stocks that are reporting earnings this week. I told you Boeing's reporting earnings. Well, when a company's doors are flying off its airplanes, mid-flight, you're not going to expect too much in the short term, right? Gap down once, gap down twice. I'm thinking we're going to pull back on again towards 177. So I'm expecting a $20, $30 drop for Boeing. It's clearly bearish. The moving average is pointing down. Moving average the 9 and the 200 moving average just crossed over to the downside as well. Look at the RSI, looking bearish. I'm expecting Boeing to drop this week. We'll see if that does happen, but you can see it kind of peaked back last month and then just been selling off since. And like I said, the doors flying off didn't help mid-flight. So yeah. Moving on, I did want to look at Starbucks. Starbucks reporting earnings on Tuesday. So same day as AMD, Google, Microsoft. Starbucks at this point where it keeps getting rejected by the moving average every time, right? But the thing about earnings is earnings can blow all that out the window. Here again, 4-hour. When we break above the moving average, we don't hold. We pull back. This is a very simple trend, a very simple pattern to follow. Go back to the daily chart again. Check this out. Last earnings, we gapped up, peaked a few weeks later, and started selling off. I'm not sure you saw a lot of people boycotting Starbucks over the past couple months. I'm sure you saw the news of how people were planning to just leave Starbucks alone, and that's kind of affected the revenue. Also, cost of production has also increased for Starbucks, so that's also had its effect on it as well. It's not just the boycotting amongst the war news, but yeah, Starbucks keeps getting rejected by the moving average. I honestly don't think this is going to make a dramatic move at this earnings, but I could be mistaken. So what I'm saying is, before earnings, I plan on shorting this, so it's trading Starbucks to the downside. I wouldn't trade this over earnings like I did with Tesla or Netflix, so that's not what I'm going to do with Starbucks. I don't know enough about it to really make an attempted, let's say, guess. Because look, past earnings, kind of consolidated. They're gapped down, gapped up. So it's a bit inconsistent. But like I said, I am intrigued to see if I can short this before earnings comes, maybe short it down to $90, just a $2 drop. And then just to touch back on stocks for the long term, I'm going to keep bringing this one up. PayPal at $50, I said it was a buy. Where was that? That was back in October. It is now $60. So it's gained a little bit. So we're at a price point where it's kind of starting to, trend in between that $64 and $57 price point consistently. What I want to point out with PayPal is when it comes to the e-commerce payment system, when it comes to many different online payment systems, PayPal is still leading. PayPal is still one of the global leaders. PayPal is still doing their thing. PayPal still has a good balance sheet. If I look at their balance sheet, you see that they're well established, that they're continuing to grow revenue. And to be honest, I see this stock as being at a good price point right now for long-term shares. If you want to know if a stock is at a good price point for long-term shares, or you need an idea, you can always zoom out. Zoom out, look at the chart, look at PayPal. There we go. PayPal peaked in around 2021, $300. Since then, it's sold off and kind of consolidated at these price points. That's not to say that if you buy shares, it's going to go all the way back to $300. No, not at all. But it is to say that if you want a punt, as we say, this wouldn't be a bad shout. I like it. As I said, you can look into their financials. They recently got a new CEO. I think he came in around October, November. So he's been there around 3-4 months now. He has big plans, obviously. And the way he talks about PayPal, you can see he cares and he's really trying to drive this up and make it another force to be reckoned with going forward. So Alibaba is another one that I'm looking at for long-term shares, but I'm not going to touch on that too much today. It's been a bit erratic as of late. And the Chinese stocks did manage to jump up from Monday to Tuesday this past week. So that had an effect on Alibaba as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to what we've got going on in this week in the Discord. As always, guys, you know the deal. We're here to make money. Our aim is to make money. Just because you don't see me making YouTube videos doesn't mean I'm not making money. The most important thing is we trade together, we work together, we find plays. Shout out to June for making a $4,000 day on Friday. That was impeccable. So big shout out to June. Shout out to the rest of the guys as well. All of you making good trades this week, making good gains, working together and making sure that we can make things happen. So if you guys know the deal, check out the Discord. The link is in the description below. Of course, that's where we do live trading. That's where we have all our plays. That's where we talk about stocks. We talk about everything. There's a betting channel there as well that's recently been added. So check out the Discord of Real Trading Academy. And then check out the stock option starter pack. That is a 10 video guide. You'll have access to that for life. I made that and it's about 3 hours long. Again, talks about the ins and outs of options. So go check that one out. And of course, the last thing, make sure you follow me on all the socials. I'm always active there, even if you're not seeing me on YouTube. So at The Wealth Prince on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And lastly, have a great day. See you guys next time for another video. That's it from me. I got into making, you got money to making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.
Game over.